The First Baptist Church of Silver Spring. Since 1925, it has stood on this piece of land, providing not only a place of worship, but a place of gathering and service for the entire community. First Baptist Church of Silver Spring has done its best to evolve and grow with the community, keeping up with the ever-changing dynamic and addressing its ever-changing needs. But now, after decades of supporting the community, First Baptist Church of Silver Spring is facing a crisis and asking for the community to support us. From the outside, the buildings behind me, the buildings of the First Baptist Church of Silver Spring, look to be in fine shape. A little paint, some carpentry work, looks like all they really need. Well, that's the reason for this presentation. I'd like you to come with me inside the buildings of First Baptist to take a look firsthand at some of the issues that we're facing. We'll start our tour here by entering what was the original church building, built in 1925, added on to in 1930, readapted in 1950, and again in 1957. The first thing you'll notice when you come into our building are the many sets of stairs. There is no elevator, and therefore no handicap access to the second floor. Due to the ongoing deterioration and structural instability of this particular area, this 3,000 square foot space has been rendered completely unusable. The fact that these structural issues have forced us to close a substantial part of the building here at First Baptist Church of Silver Spring is just one of the issues that we're facing. Let me show you now some of the parts of the building that we're still using and some of the issues we're facing there. Down these stairs, you'll find our music room. In the 1930s, this room was our fellowship hall. After 75 years of use, adaptation, and deterioration, this room has its obvious problems.
During the summer, the room is almost unbearable because it is so humid in there that there is a dehumidifier, but the moisture is so great that instead of the typical receiver for water that is usually done with humidifiers, we have usually a big plastic tub to collect that during the week because it's just almost an oppressive humidity.
Lack of proper drainage and ventilation makes fighting dampness pretty much impossible. And the resulting mold and mildew problems are obvious.
And one of the main problems, I don't know if you can see over here on the floor, is we have water basically percolating up through the subfloor whenever there's heavy rain. And of course, when you get carpets that get wet, you always get the issues of mold and cleanliness. Plus, it looks very unsightly for a worship area or for an area you want children to play in.
We have a water problem, a very fundamental water problem whenever it rains. The existing water sewer is not designed to take the water away in a fashion that would keep up with the downpours that we've been experiencing. As a result, when we have a heavy rain, water will come into the building, will cause, of course, soaked carpets, wet conditions, resulting in mold and mildew, which we have to address. So it's a matter of really reconstructing the foundation of this facility in order to get rid of the kind of water that we have.
These stains, which you can find throughout the building, but especially here, are due to leaks in the pipes that run through the church, pipes that were quite literally built into the building. In order to fix or replace all of the leaking pipes, it will cost over $250,000.
The problem with the replacement is that these pipes are embedded in plaster, concrete, underfloors, over ceilings, everywhere that's inaccessible.
The boiler room was added to the building in 1950. This equipment is so old, when we need a replacement part, we actually have to custom order it, and it's machined to our specifications. Ultimately, it's all going to have to be replaced. So as you can see in this part of the building, we have a number of serious concerns and issues. Issues that not only impact the functionality of the building itself, but issues that also raise some very serious safety and health concerns as well.
I did not pick this church because of the building. So it's not that the building has to be perfect, but it should be at least somewhat of a welcoming environment. But not only that, the flooding problems, the bathrooms are quite frankly horrendous. It's old, it's stodgy, there's mildew, smelling, and I'm so torn because I really want my son to have the Christian influence, which I know he would get here, but I just don't feel comfortable bringing him here in this dreary, broken down building.
The areas we're going to look at now are our nursery and youth rooms. In an effort to keep small children in the cleanest and driest areas of the facility, the nursery and toddler rooms are detached from all of the spaces used by adults. This, of course, creates an entirely new set of problems that simply cannot be overcome given our current configuration. Easy access by parents to their children is a compromise.
Yeah, I have to tell you, again, right, the area where the children are, or where anybody is, it's damp, it's chilly, it's dreary, it smells moldy. I have, quite frankly, a health concern. I mean, you smell it. And quite frankly, I would just be concerned. I don't know, when there's, that kind of smelling mildew going on, I don't know what that can't be good. Let's just put it that way.
Classrooms, office space, nurseries, stairwell, roof, storm sewer, air conditioning. By now, you should be getting a clearer picture of the crisis facing the First Baptist Church of Silver Spring. Now, let me show you one of the most important parts of the church building, the sanctuary. What most people see when they enter our sanctuary is the high ceilings and stained glass windows. But on days like this, what is equally noticeable is the smell of mold and dampness throughout the church. Leaks in the roof let water in from above. It also brings down plaster from the ceiling while continuing to open holes. There are other problems with this area as well.
The layout is just so strange. It's more than a situation of a building having been built on to another building. One building alone has not made good use of space. So when you think of how much more you could have in the places where you got stairs instead, then I think that we are clearly not using at least 40% of the building that could be functional.
If we were to address all of the immediate problems to the roof, air conditioning systems, the plumbing, storm sewer, draining, and electrical, it would cost us well over $2 million. And what would that leave us? An old building with some new parts. We would still lack space for growth of ministries and services to the community. The easiest way to fix the problems is to start over with a building designed for the present and future rather than for the past. Without redeveloping, First Baptist Church of Silver Spring will be unable to adequately serve our members and will never be able to continue to meet the needs of our community. Our inadequacies will take us into a vicious cycle. We cut services, which will ultimately result in the loss of membership. That loss of membership will then reduce our finances. Reducing our finances will force us to cut more services. This can end in only one of two ways. We'll have to move, or the First Baptist Church of Silver Spring will have to shut down altogether. We can, however, rebuild. And we can rebuild in a way that will be positive for Silver Spring and our immediate neighborhood. By rebuilding, we'll be able to give Silver Spring a continuing edge, population to support our local businesses.